this far away from home and for this long, and it really teaches you responsibility.
I've made a lot of new friends.
I'm having the time of my life. I'm learning a lot. It's an incredible experience.
I think it's probably the best experience I've had in my life.
I love that the students get the opportunity to visit other countries, see other cultures, and experience a life that's different than their own.
Well, greetings and good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Fantastic. My name is Gary Stewart. I'm the head of admissions for the great state of Florida with people-to-people student ambassador programs. Basically, I have traveled thousands of students, just like you, to locations around the globe. What I really want to talk about for just a quick moment is why I am here today. It's because I truly believe in the value and the importance for young people to travel abroad. The first time that I traveled overseas when I was your age, and I got to travel to Europe. I was traveling through France. I was traveling through London. I was traveling through Scotland. Before I left the United States for my European adventure, I really anticipated that my favorite moment of my journey was going to be standing on top of the Eiffel Tower. But my favorite part about traveling abroad as a student wasn't something that I did. It wasn't something that I just merely saw, but it was something that I was really exposed to for the first time. It was the first time that I'd ever tried haggis. Now, if you don't know what haggis is, you don't want to. It's all of the internal organs of a sheep, all ground up, put back in the stomach lining of that sheep, and boiled. But you know what? I absolutely loved it. And that was my favorite part about traveling abroad, because I was discovering things I didn't even know existed, and these were things I really enjoyed. Folks, that is why I'm here today. To provide your students with a different perspective of the world. Help them experience life outside of Southern Florida. We're going to provide them some really unique learning opportunities, and they're going to have a really unique adventure as they become immersed into another culture. So during our time together, we have a lot of information to cover. Let me tell you where we're going to be taking you. Students, we're going to be starting in Portugal. We're going to be starting in Lisbon. This is known as the City of Explorers. This is where so many famous sailors actually set sail for different parts of the world. They are known as the individuals who started globalization. So we're going to be learning about their rich heritage. We're going to be learning about how they used to manufacture their homes out of porcelain tile. We're going to be traveling to Spain. How many of you have Spanish heritage? Guys, we're going to be going to your homeland. When we arrive there, we're going to be going to Andalusia, and this is where you will have a traditional farm stay. The best way to learn about a culture is to truly live it. So while we're there at the farm, we're going to be learning what it really means to be of Spanish descent. You'll have some very unique learning opportunities while we're here, and then we're going to make our way to Barcelona. How many of you have heard of Gaudi, the famous architect? You know, that's where we got the word Gaudi from, because his architecture was just so elaborate. In fact, we're going to be exploring a cathedral that has been under construction for over 100 years that is still not completed. We're going to spend some time with some Spanish students your age, and we're going to be going to a culinary art school, and they're going to teach us some of the traditional Spanish dishes. Paella. We'll also have a chance to learn about some of their traditional dances. And these are just some of the things that you're going to be doing this coming summer as you really begin to step outside of your comfort zone and begin to really travel different locations around the world. I'm going to introduce you to some very important individuals that we have here today. These are your teacher leaders. They are educators from the area that we have handpicked and trained, and they're going to be working with your family over the next several months, preparing for this exciting adventure, and then traveling with our students abroad. We have some special guests. These are students who have traveled with People to People, student alumni. Some of these students are just returning home from overseas this summer, and they're here to share with you, as a local resident of your community, what it was really like to travel with People to People. And then finally, we'll wrap up with your boarding pass, the simple steps that you want to proceed with to become involved in this local Miami delegation traveling over to Europe this coming summer. Sound good? All right, fantastic. What I'd like to do right now is let's hear from the big guy himself, President Eisenhower. On the day that he launched the People to People program with his mission to create peace around the world. While you're watching, notice that you're not traveling as a tourist with People to People, but you are traveling for a mission, for a purpose.
Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this meeting is the most worthwhile purpose there is in the world today: to help build the road to peace.
It all started with a president. Dwight D. Eisenhower was chosen as Supreme Allied Commander during World War II and served as President of the United States during the Cold War. The vision of a more peaceful world became the defining theme of his presidency.
But I am talking about the exchange of professors and students and executives, the providing of technical assistance, and the ordinary traveler abroad. In this way, I believe, is the truest path to peace.
Eisenhower believed that people-to-people interactions were the solution to world peace and the success of all world citizens. The People-to-People movement was born out of this great vision and lives on today through People-to-People ambassador programs. Since the 1960s, more than 500,000 ambassadors have traveled on the educational adventure of a lifetime.
Students have to step outside their comfort zone. The team building activities they do, it equips the students with personal empowerment that they will take with them in whatever situation, work situation, school situation. It makes them in control of their life.
They're unique individuals who share a passion for getting out into the world and making it a better place. As an ambassador, you'll experience the world with eyes wide open, going to places the average student trip can't. You'll experience iconic destinations, explore new cultures and local customs, and gain an academic edge, all while having the time of your life.
Welcome People to People to Bristol, England.
We'd like to welcome our American friends here.
People to People, welcome to Greece.
Welcome to Paris. Hope you'll enjoy your stay.
Welcome to Japan, People to People.
Ambassadors have endless opportunities to see the world. Students gain confidence and maturity through months of pre-travel preparation and by taking part in unique activities on the program, like rappelling down a castle wall in Wales, living like a member of another culture in Fiji, and taking part in a robotics challenge at a top American university. You are heading into a world where your friends and coworkers will be from all around the globe. Building an awareness of the world is essential for success in our fast-moving global society.
So you have an obligation to be good citizens, an obligation to learn all you can, an obligation to get ready for the world that we're going to bequeath to you in the not-too-distant future.
I salute you as well for exercising your convictions not just at the keyboard, but in programs like People to People.
Today, success in getting into college and advancing in your chosen career requires new 21st century skills and the ability to think beyond our borders.
We're always looking for students who have pursued academic enrichment programs that take them outside of the classroom, outside of their community, and really introduce them to other academic outings.
Ambassador programs are designed to give you an academic edge. They're even led by educational professionals who make the most of each learning opportunity. These teacher leaders are also an important part of our industry-leading approach to safety. With GPS tracking, extensive training for leaders and students, and dedicated staff on call 24/7, we set a high standard for travel safety.
We are very, very serious about the safety of our children. It's the number one foremost thing.
Rest assured, you're in good hands with People to People. They've been traveling students for over 50 years. They know what they're doing.
Every continent, country, and city brings new adventures, friendships, and experiences that you'll take with you for the rest of your life.
To the young people who are here tonight, I ask you to go forward and always remember that we're citizens in the truest sense of the word, not just of this country, but of this precious planet.
Your people-to-people experience will not only make a difference in your life, but can actually change the world. Learn what it means to be a global citizen through unique and rewarding service projects. In 2014, ambassadors earned more than 120,000 service learning hours. Join students just like you and make an impact around the world.
We are at the east coast of Japan where the tsunami hit last year.
Seeing everyone work together, digging in the sand and get out debris or like logs, and knowing that like you touched these people's lives just as much as they touched yours. It's just an amazing feeling of accomplishment.
Over the next several months, you will see and learn more about the world than most people will in a lifetime. Each day of your ambassador experience will bring new adventures as you explore places you've only dreamed of.
We are at the top of Machu Picchu. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I still can't believe that I'm here.
The time is now, the choice is yours. As a people-to-people ambassador, your world will change forever. So the only question left is, are you ready?
There is no more important work than that which we are asking you to participate. Thank you very much for your time.
So now you know more about the history of People to People and how this program actually got started. Back in the mid-1950s, President Eisenhower, he formed a delegation of people who he felt could really demonstrate to the rest of the world what America was all about. One of these individuals was the famous jazz musician, Louis Armstrong, Bob Hope, the comedian, Joyce Hall, Hallmark Cards. My personal favorite, Walt Disney. Walt Disney did travel with People to People, and it was after he traveled abroad, not as a tourist just taking pictures of things, but having arranged face-to-face visits, just as you will, as an ambassador, learning about other people and other cultures. Being able to go behind the scenes, being able to have a homestay, for example, and learning about culture in the best way, and that's to truly live it. So learning about their daily traditions, their hobbies, their sports, their music. It was this experience with People to People that really transformed the way that he saw the world. He was so inspired by this that he returned home to the United States and created a pretty famous ride. You've probably heard of it. It's a small world after all. After traveling with People to People. How many people have been driven crazy by the music on that ride, by the way? Me too. But I want you to realize that this program really has a significant tradition. And I'm sure that many of you are wondering how you were invited to be here today. Our students can be nominated by local educators. The second way is that our students who travel abroad, when they return home, they are welcome to nominate students who they feel would make a good ambassador. The third way, if you would look inside of your ambassador's magazine, the gray magazine, and turn to page 21. We have an academic advisory board. We conduct outreach in the same way that many colleges do to bright students. So it comes down to academic performance. Those are generally one of the three ways that we invite students to become People to People ambassadors. I'd like to introduce you to your local leadership team, and as these individuals make their way onto the stage, let's give them a warm round of applause. We have an excellent safety supervision ratio, so we'll be assigning one teacher leader to every 10 students in the delegation. We have planned a delegation of 30 students from the local South Miami area to form this delegation, traveling, of course, with 3 leaders. And I'd like for you to be able to hear more from them at this time. Let's start by introducing your area director for South Florida, an individual who really volunteers a lot of her time in making this experience so exceptional for our families year after year. Miss Megan Stockstad.
Hi, my name is Megan Stockstad. I am a high school educator. I teach English. Some of you students are like, no. Yes. Anyway, my class is fun though. And I've been teaching for about 20 years, in education for 20 years. I've been with People to People for 13. I would have been with them a lot longer if I would have found them sooner, but I found them after a while. Part of my job is to find wonderful leaders. There's only about 30 in all of South Florida, so I handpick them. I look for something very specific. And they have to meet those qualities. First of all, they have to be exceptional teachers, and then they have to be fun, because this trip is supposed to be fun as well as educational. They are amazing. They also have to be trained, so I have to make sure they're trained. So students, they have to take tests, and they have to do things like quizzes and have deadlines just like you, so you can laugh about that when you're looking at them. And they also work with me to interface with the home office so that they are up on the latest procedures for safety, and they know how to handle any situation and how to do the curriculum for your children. So with that in mind, when I'm looking at them and trying to find them, I also keep something else very special in my heart, and that is my child. Would I let him travel with them? And that's one of the top things I think about. And they will not get in if I will not let my child travel with them. So they're all amazing. I would like to introduce you first to the primary leader for this particular delegation that you're sitting and watching the video for today, Miss Michelle Bolt.
Thank you, Megan. My name is Michelle Bolt, and I've been teaching with Miami-Dade Public Schools for the past 19 years. I'm a National Board Certified teacher. I actually teach at Coral Reef Senior High School. And I have 2 children of my own. They're actually grown now. So, and I've been in the hospitality and tourism business for a number of years and exposing students to educational travel. So I look forward to meeting all of you and hoping that you'll be able to go on this journey with us to Lisbon and to oh my God, I went blank. And to Spain. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michelle Matisse. I currently teach 8th grade English over in Broward County. This is my 5th year with People to People, and it is a wonderful opportunity. I just wanted to mention, I know some of your parents are sitting here going, oh my God, how am I going to send my child away for 2 weeks over the summer? You can follow your child every single moment because of Facebook. So I know a lot of my parents this past summer, they would wake up early and they were so excited because they could see where we were. So it's almost like they were on the trip with us. Again, my name is Michelle Matisse. I will be leading a group this summer to Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. If you're interested, just come talk to me after.
Thank you. My name is Hunter Cambon. I teach at St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm also the head sailing coach there, and I teach English to 9th graders. I've been traveling most of my life. I grew up on a boat with my parents and then jumped through Central America, South America, Europe, and then last year, actually Japan. I'll be leading a trip this year to Australia, so if you're interested to come with me, it's going to be awesome. We'll be diving the Great Barrier Reef as well as doing some surfing and a few other really awesome activities. I just want to talk to you guys a minute about the safety aspect of People to People. They have a safety response team, the SRT, which is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when we are on these trips, they are watching us like hawks, making sure there's no weather moving our way, anything we should be aware of. And actually last year when I was in Japan, with a group of 31 students. We had a typhoon move in and an earthquake, and they actually saw the typhoon coming about a week in advance and just slightly detoured our trip. We did one activity first instead of a different one. So we still got to complete the whole itinerary, but we avoided the storm, jumped on our flight home, and made it back safely. And they contacted each and every one of the parents, as well as us, kept us in the loop too. So safety's number one, and then of course fun. So if you want to come to Australia, join me.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Brenda Andre, and I'm a lead teacher at Robert Morgan Educational Center. And I've taught hospitality and tourism for many years, business courses. I'm currently teaching leadership and SAT prep. And one of the things that I love about People to People is that when your child leaves, when they come back a different person, because they've learned that we're all the family of man. They've learned to meet people from different countries and realize that they're just people just like them. They learn about their culture. They learn, what they eat. They get to meet other students. They learn, what it's like to live in a different country. It's one thing to see it, and read about it. It's another to actually live it. And you'll see that once your child comes back, they will have grown so much that, that you'll want to send them again. This summer, I will be going on the European Discovery to France, Italy, Switzerland, and Austria. And we're going to have a great time. They're going to learn a lot, but they're not going to even know they're learning because it's going to be so much fun. So if you're interested, see us afterwards. It's the next meeting. Have a great day.
Hi, my name is... Those were some of the students that were on my trip this summer. So we had fun with those guys. We really had a great time in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Northern Ireland. Just an awesome trip. I'm a teacher at Westminster Christian School in Palmetto Bay here. Been teaching there for 15 years, but teaching for 29 years. So I've been around for a while. I will be a leader for a trip this summer that's called Mediterranean Traditions. That trip will go from Italy through France into Spain. A little bit different itinerary than the other one there. If you're interested in that, talk to me afterward. I have some itineraries you can look at to see that. Delegation managers. We get to country with our delegation and we meet somebody in the country. And it's just really awesome. We had a wonderful delegation manager this summer, and those guys can tell you that as well. You get there, they know the language, they know the culture, they can take you around. That gives you a chance as a leader, us as leaders a chance to really focus on our students, get to know them, and just have a great time with them. So just another little twist that I think is really good with People to People is that person in country that just allows us to concentrate on our students and they can take us through the different places that we go.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, all of you. You guys are amazing. I forgot to add that I am also taking a group of students to China. And we are going to walk on the wall, climb the wall, and we'll see the Terracotta Army, and we'll do a lot of really amazing stuff. One of the best things is that we're going to be in a martial arts school that is phenomenal. Never seen anything like it before in my life, and it's amazing. So if you're interested in China, please come talk to me afterwards.
Now, I see a lot of students out here with a little bit of distress because they're going, wow, I don't know, where do I want to go? Do I want to go through the Mediterranean? Do I want to travel to Portugal? Do I want to travel to China? Maybe Fiji? Guys, calm down. It's okay. I know you have a very tough decision to make, but I'm sure that you'll get there. Okay? So again, you can see that we really have some top-notch, wonderful, dedicated teacher leaders in this program. I'd like to be able to identify if we have alumni with us here today. If you have traveled in a People-to-People program, if you would please stand for me if you have traveled in a People-to-People program. And if you have a parent or maybe a grandparent with you here today, I would encourage them to stand as well. I'm sure that they worked very hard to support you in becoming an ambassador with People to People. Ladies and gentlemen, these families standing are literally representing your community to the rest of the globe. I would like to invite all of you that are standing, students and parents, if you would please join us at the front of the room for just a quick moment. I have something special I'd like to present to you at this time. Families, keep in mind that these families here were sitting right where you are just last year. And of course, they had all kinds of questions about the program. Maybe they had concerns about safety. But now they've been able to become part of People to People, and I really find that it will be beneficial for you to be able to hear from your local families and what this experience was really like for them. So I'd like to line up student, parent, student, parent, student, parent. And students, please introduce yourself, starting with your name, the school you attend, where you traveled, maybe one of your favorite parts of traveling. And then right after you speak, I'd like to be able to hear from one of your parents. Parents, again, you were sitting out here last year. I would encourage you to speak with our parents. Share with them what you thought about the People to People program. And maybe share with us, what do you feel that your student was truly able to achieve by traveling in this program? We'll go ahead and get started right down here.
Hello, my name's Megan Davis. I go to Southdade Senior High. I went to Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and London last summer. I traveled with these wonderful people and Jim. And Lisa. My favorite part about the trip was the homestay, when we got to stay with the families and they taught us about where they were from and what they do and their food and everything. It was loads of fun. Sadly, my mother's not here to tell you anything about it, but somebody else's parent is.
I'm Jeannie Rothfield. This is my daughter, Julia. She went on the same trip. And for me, when I was sitting here last year, my thoughts were a little bit different. A lot of the parents were saying something about how their children had changed so much. And I kind of liked her how she was, so I wasn't really that interested in her changing a lot. And my thoughts were more about, is this just a typical student travel trip, or is it really what they say it is? And we were talking a little bit in the car on the way here, and I asked Julia, what did you learn? Because they have these preparation meetings where they meet on Saturdays, coming up to the summer. And I asked Julia what she learned that made a difference for her when she was traveling, and she said that she had to write a paper on England and Ireland, the difference in their parliamentary systems, and that made her also think about the American government system, and it really did make a difference for when she was traveling, because they met with a former member of parliament, and she was able to ask questions that she felt comfortable asking because she felt like she really understood. And so for me, there was a differentiating factor, and the leaders are exceptional, like truly, truly exceptional, well chosen, and that sort of balance of that I don't always have, that is fun and still kept a respectful situation. So anyway, there you go.
Hi, I'm Julia. I go to Coral Reef Senior High School, and I went on the Celtic Cultures trip with all these people. And one of my favorite things about it was the community that we had, because everyone who was on that trip became like family to me, and you can tell we're all really good friends. And we met all these amazing people while we were there. Like, I have a homestay sister in Ireland who I Snapchat with regularly all the time, and we talk, and it's really fun because you meet these amazing people and they're going about their daily lives, and it's just an amazing experience.
Hello, I'm Marcos. I go to Southridge Senior High School. As stated before, I went on these trips with these very lovely people, and it was a great experience, like meeting all the people from the country, like having nice little chats and stuff. I got to put a kilt on in Ireland, which was like so amazing. Or I mean Scotland, my bad. It was like amazing because like the guy was like a big grizzly dude with like red long hair and like a huge beard, and he gave me like a sword and stuff, and I was like the baddest warrior in the world.
Hi everyone, my name is Marisol. I'm Marcos's mom. I think it was great. I was nervous because I thought he might not be prepared and responsible enough, but he did meet a group of fantastic kids, which they've stayed in touch ever since they got back. And the leaders made it very easy. If I wasn't able to get a hold of them, I was able to email them, and they got them to call me right away. So it was a great opportunity, great experience for him.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Claudia. I went to Southwest Miami Senior High School, and I went on the China trip in 2008, so that's a long time ago. And the most important part for me about the trip was friendship. The people that I met that at the beginning were totally strangers, now we still hang out, we're still friends, although we're now all in college, but you make really strong bonds with the people that you go on the trip with, so definitely was really fun.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I went to the Celtic trip. Okay, so I went on this trip and I was like really shy. Like I won't, like once I get to know you, like yeah, I'll be annoying. But like if we don't know, like they'll tell you I'm annoying. But once I went on this trip, like it was like the second day, and then we met like Marcos and like everyone, like all these people, and like they're like my best friends, honestly. Like even after the trip, the day after we got back, we all hung out because we missed each other. It's crazy. And I guess my favorite part was the homestay too. Actually, no. Over there, you get to meet other delegations. Let's say a delegation from Miami goes and you meet one from Washington. So you don't only get to meet people from that country, you also get to meet people from all over the U.S. It was pretty cool.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I go to Robert Morgan Educational Center. I'm a junior. And the trip was really fun. I went to Celtic Cultures with all these people. And it was really fun. We all got very close. And during the homestay, I was with Marcos, and we just explored the place. It was fun.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela. I am Camila's mother. And when originally she was about to turn 15, we were talking about what is it that she wanted to do. I know she hates when I tell this story, but I have to tell you guys. And we were talking about, okay, what do you want to do? You want a big back quince, or do you want to travel? And she's like, oh no, I want to travel, definitely. So where do you want to go, Camila? I want to go to Europe. I was like, okay, awesome. So one night we were sitting down at the dining room table talking about that we were going to go to, Spain, and we were going to go Eiffel Tower, and all these things we were going to do. And then she was like, are you guys going? And I'm like, of course we're going. We're not going to go alone to Europe. Hell no. And then like a couple of weeks later, I get home and she has like this people-to-people envelope. And she's like all chirpy and sparkly. She's like, Mother, they are inviting me to go to Europe and I can go alone. And I'm like, what? You're not going to go alone, Camila. No. So she's like, yeah, there's this informational meeting and Mom, you have to come. Of course, I told Dad about that and he's like, oh, no. My little girl is not going to go alone to Europe. Well, let me tell you something. After she came back from the trip, he was the very first one who said, maybe we should send her on another one. Because I gave people my little shy girl, and they gave me back a young, smart, well-rounded, confident young lady. Aww. So.
Okay, hi, my name is Camila, as you can tell. I went on the Celtic Cultures, and my favorite part is probably the homestay. Like, you get to meet other people, and especially like the people that live there, and you get to tell their culture, like how they live their normal lives, and you could just tell that they're normal people just like us. And as you can tell, I'm a very shy person, so talking right here is very nerve-wracking for me. So, pass it on to Brianna.
Hi, my name is Brianna. I go to Southridge. I went on the Celtic Cultures too, and it was really fun. And like Sarah said, like the second day, we all became like best friends, and by the end of the trip, we were like family. And my no. Okay. I don't have I would say my favorite part of the trip was, getting to know like all these amazing people and like all the new food that we got to eat. I tried haggis and it was nasty. But I don't know, someone else might like it, but like I said, the trip, it was really amazing and I loved everything about it and it was awesome, and yeah.
Hi, I'm Jakari. I go to Cutler Bay Academy, and I went on the Celtic Culture trip with everybody. And my favorite part had to be when I met everybody, because like they said, we all became family. Even with the delegation leaders, like, we're really like chill. And everybody became a family, and it was really amazing. And when you have friendships on the trip, it makes a trip even better because you can experience it with everybody. And it was really amazing. And I can say that when you go on the trip, you're in the best hands possible. And yeah, so.
Hi, my name is Joshua Ceballos. I'm a junior at Westline Hialeah Senior High School. Amazingly, I did not go on the Celtic Cultures with all these people, but it seems like they had a really awesome time together. In the summer of 2011, I went on the Australian adventure trip going into 7th grade, and this past summer, I went on the European Heritage trip with Megan, Chloe, and Jason. We had an amazing time. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite experiences on the trip was when we went to the Louvre Museum in Paris. Unfortunately, one of our fellow delegates was injured. She had a knee issue, and she had to be in a wheelchair. But our leaders, including Megan, were so on top of it and so in charge that they made sure that she had the best experience possible and she did not feel left out. And I know Megan was ready to tackle anyone if they got in her way. And because we were with her and she was in a wheelchair, a small group of us that was taking care of her, we were able to go through the back entrances of the Louvre Museum, and we actually got to be right in front of the Mona Lisa, whereas there was a huge crowd as big as this room in front of the Mona Lisa. We got right in front, and we were able to take selfies with it, which was fantastic. And it's actually a very small painting, but it was a really cool experience. And as for the fundraising part of it, the trip does seem a little pricey when you're at this meeting. I know sitting at my first meeting, I was like, okay, this was a really nice meeting, but I don't think I can do that. But you're going to be really pleasantly surprised by how many people in your community and your family really care about you and want to invest in your future. And this trip really is an investment into your future and something that's really going to help you out. So a lot of people are willing to help you with donations. My mom was a huge help, baking at every opportunity. So yeah, definitely thank your parents, people. And also the delegation managers and the other people in the company really helped me out when I was in a bind, because they become like family to you during the delegation meetings. And I was even given an opportunity to go to Spokane, Washington, to the headquarters and film with my man Matt over there in the back. Hey, Matt. And it was really an awesome experience, and I came back changed, and it's definitely worth it. No matter what, this trip is definitely worth it.
Hi, my name is Liz Gates, and I'm Joshua's mom. And as Joshua was saying, they do become family. I mean, sometimes you just go on the trip, and it's still an incredible experience, but sometimes you get to be so involved with all of them, Megan, everybody here, and including the people in Spokane. It did become family. They did make us feel like we were part of their family. On the trips, Joshua, I was saying earlier, saw another group, when he went to Australia, he'd never left my side before, always next to me. I wouldn't have sent him anywhere. And so, like he said, we went to the meeting, we sat there, it's a great meeting. Wow, that sounds awesome. There's no way he's going. But you see the other people. We got to, which you can do with us afterwards, we got to speak to some of the other kids after. We got to hear what they had to say. We saw how excited they were, how important this seemed. And so I thought, let's look into it. The money part also seemed to be something very difficult to do. But if you invest in yourselves, why would you not invest in your children's future? And what happens with this is they are changed. Joshua was very shy before he went on his first trip. As he said, he's done all kinds of things now. He's spoken publicly. He's not that person. He's extremely open to the world. He's prepared also to go out and do things independently, which he wouldn't have done before. I would have never imagined it. And all of that really happened through the people-to-people experience. So baking cookies, hundreds of cookies for Valentine's, not a problem. Cakes, whatever it is, use cell phones. There's a way of doing it. You'll figure it if you want to give your children this experience. And it's incredible, and it's really worth it.
Hi, my name is Chloe Jean Baptiste. I go to International Studies Preparatory Academy, and I traveled on the European Heritage trip with Joshua, Megan, and Jason. I guess I could say my favorite part about the trip was when we were in Austria, and before, like the day before, my mom signs a paper because we were gonna do an activity, and she was like, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. And I said, Mom, I got this. Don't worry. So we get to the course, and it's like some course with zip lining, and you're like going across on like steps and ladders, and me and heights don't mix. So I'm thinking I can conquer my fear. So I'm up there, and I'm like, you know what? I should listen to my mom. Mom knows best, you know? So guys, listen to your mom. But I mean, I only completed the first level because I was like, I'm not doing this. But I completed the first level and I got down. I was trembling, but I was like, I completed it. I did it. I somewhat conquered my fear, but I still hate heights. And throughout the trip, you're gonna feel extremely safe because you're always in a group. The leaders are always on your back. I mean, it gets annoying. Stay in the group. Close the gap. Do this. Do that. Every single day. But you're still safe. And on top of that, if you guys are shy people and you're on the trip like, I don't know nobody, I'm not gonna make any friends. But like in the end, I had a group of friends. We were the squad. We were the squad, and we still talk today. We're really good friends, and the trip is worth it.
My name is Colleen Jean Baptiste. Of course, I'm Chloe's mother. I'm gonna go another route. Single parents' point of view when you read that book. Because when I went to the meeting last year, because I read everything else, and then I look at the price. That was my concern. I said, no way. She's gonna go because I don't see myself coming with that much money. However, I did it. I wrote all my commissioners, Walmart, Publix, banks, everybody. And one day I mailed 44 letters. And guess what? Even before she went to the trip, I was still getting money. People responded to me. $25 here, $50 there, plus the chocolates, the baking cookies, and everything else. And when she came back from the trip, she said, Mommy, can I sign up for next year? And I said, I don't know about that. But Megan convinced me. And she convinced me. Plus, she told me, Mommy, I never left your side. I had Joan. Where is Joan? Joan is back there. She said, I heard you every single day. It was like having you around. So, as a mother, a single one at it, I was scared to death. You're safe. I was following my daughter every single day. I knew where she was, what she was doing at any time. We FaceTime. When she couldn't sleep because of the time, we FaceTime. Leave it in the hand of God afterward. Go and do whatever that you got to do. She felt that her Belgium, I think she went to Germany. She still keep in touch with these people today. And we created another family. We have a family outside of the family we can call and say, how you doing, you know? So it's a family affair. By the time you end up this, you have another family. Not only with the leaders and with the parents that we meet. So, and we help one another. Ideas, okay?
My name's Victoria, and I go to John A. Ferguson. I traveled with People to People in 2009, yeah, and I traveled to France, Ireland, where else? England,
A lot of places I don't. Holland, Amsterdam. Yeah, I was gone for 21 days. The first maybe week, I was still missing my parents, and I called them every day. After the first week, and I got to know everybody on the trip and the leaders and all the people on the trip, I stopped calling, and they thought something happened to me. But my mom finally got a hold of me, and I'm like, sorry, I haven't called you, just having such a great time. And I learned, I'm still kind of nervous and a little shy, but when I got back from the trip, it helped me do things I never thought I could do. It helped me be, like, I could stand up for things I normally wouldn't. I was more responsible, even with doing little things like picking up the mail, taking out the trash, which I would never do. The trip helped me understand, like, if you help, you gotta help out your parents, they're gonna help you back, obviously. They do so much for you, including paying for the trip, everything they do. It's a great trip, and if you get the chance to take it, you're never going to regret it.
Well, when she went in 2009, I'm her mom, obviously. She was 14 years old, and her grandmother's a world traveler, but I didn't believe in that because I was like, that's my little girl. How can I send her away for 21 days? And back then in 2009, I think we barely had Facebook or something like that. So I couldn't keep track, only if she would call me. But let me tell you, she left, and like most parents here already know, your child leaves as a kid. They depend on you. They want everything for you, to do everything for them. Well, when she came back, her whole entire face, her looks, everything, she became back a woman. I am very proud of her, and I do not regret letting her go. So if you have the means and you can do things to help your child go, I'd say you definitely have to do it.
Hi, I'm Shamarda, and I attend Hollywood Christian School, and I went on the trip to Canada, and I went with Miss Joan way back there. Yeah, hi. It's a very great experience, and it's like, don't think of it as like, oh, me and my family go on vacation all the time, she or he doesn't need to go, but it's more than that. It's more than just some vacation with photos and all that kind of stuff. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime learning experience, and I know that it was killing my mom inside, but she did send me, and at the young age that I did, it really helped me because I got to skip a grade and do honors because of this at my school, and it's a great experience that you get to learn. And don't think, oh, I'm letting my child go, it's like the worst thing in my life. You're gonna come back with like a whole new child, be like, did you switch my child up where they were traveling? Like, no, it's the same person, just with different learning experiences, and it's going to be the best because the leaders were always there next to you. They're going to be calling you. If your child doesn't, you can see whatever they're doing, because my mom was updated all the time, like every day, and she would send us messages because the places that we were staying at, she would go ahead and like check in with them and see if everything was okay, and then she'd send us little faxes and messages that we'd get. And like, it's the best thing, and we really got close with each other. Like, I still keep in touch with the friends I traveled with, even though it was like a couple of years ago. And our leaders were like, Miss Joan was like a second mom to me, We got really close, and this is like the best thing you could ever do for your child, is sending them on this trip with people to people.
Hi, my name is Barrington. I attend Hollywood Christian School. I went on the trip to Canada with my sister, and it was really awesome. I mean, to travel, from Florida, going somewhere else is pretty cool. I wasn't nervous at all, except when we got to the airport. I'm just like, okay, we're really doing this. But Miss Joan was there. She was amazing. Like, I don't know what, but she was just amazing. And when we got there, we met up with some other delegates that, like, some are from Georgia, Oklahoma, lots of places. But all I know is that I keep in touch with them today, and your kid will definitely enjoy this. Like, this is an amazing experience. You never know when you're going to get it again. So if you send them, they'll come back really different. And you might be a little weird, like, you know, is this my son or daughter? But it's definitely the best choice you'll ever take.
Hello, I'm their mom, but I'm also called the Mother Hubbard because they give you an itinerary to tell you where they're going to be, the name of the hotel, the phone number. I checked it all out to make sure it was real. Because when I was sitting where you were, I was like, are they crazy? Why they don't want parents to come and they going to brainwash them, or what they going to do to my child that I can't go? But when I was at the meetings, one of the girls that traveled, she was saying she felt so sorry for her mom. Her mom went on a trip. She said, I didn't get to see my mom. I was worried. I didn't really enjoy myself. So she said I had to go back next year to enjoy myself without my mom. So that kind of convinced me a little bit. But one thing I will say is we worry about peer pressure for our kids. Look at the group of kids that your children are being exposed to. And that's the thing that really helped me, because children are going to find other children, whether bad, good, or whatever. But at least you know these kids have been screened, and that you know they have some attachment to somewhere. And I'm really happy for that, because they do keep in touch with their friends as well. I will tell you guys, it was a storm when they went, and I was just petrified. I'm like, oh my gosh. And you know how you see stuff on television, it look worse when it's somewhere else. I called the hotels, and they were, do you have water? Do you have air? Do you have lights? You know, do you have telephone service? What's going on? And they were able to update me, even though the headquarters was telling me. I'm like, I don't trust them. I'm a Mother Hubbard. I want to know if my children are safe. But also when I found out the information, they were excited, waiting for the kids to come. Like, oh, I'm just excited they're coming. And it's not just that we are knowing about people to people. They know about people to people in other countries. And they're like excited to host them. So that made me feel very proud that my children was a part of it. And I ask you guys to make the sacrifice. Think of it as a Jaguar or Mercedes-Benz or the new house you want to get. Make that sacrifice in your children. You won't be sorry.
Hello, my name is Jason Rubio, and I go to Westwood Christian School. I'm 15 years old, and I went on European Heritage with Chloe and Joshua. And it was like such a great experience. I loved it so much. We went to so many different countries, and I made so many new friends. I went to Germany, and we did the homestay, and I had like food I'd never tried before, and like I met people that like didn't even speak my language, but they were like so cool, like the way they acted and like the way they talked. And I remember going to the Eiffel Tower, and I went to the top, and I was just looking off the edge, and it's like, wow, it's like so amazing, you know, the country of France. And I don't know, the trip was so amazing. The people that went with me on the trip, they were so nice, and I had so many new friends now that I enjoyed so much. And I love the trip. If you ever get the chance to go, it's the best trip ever. Don't even worry about the money, because the experience is way more worth way more than money is.
All right, I'm Geraldine, and I went on the Japan trip last summer with Hunter over here, Brandy in the back, and Carlene. And let me tell you, they were the coolest leaders ever. They were always on our back, you know, like you worry that your kid is gonna go off and they're not gonna be like properly monitored or anything, but trust me, these leaders, they've got everything like down pat. Like, my favorite part of the trip had to be the homestay, because you don't like you you don't realize how different cultures are until you're actually staying with another family. And my Japanese family actually didn't speak any English at all. So we had to use a dictionary, and we had to use like hand gestures and everything, because, you know, I couldn't speak Japanese, you know, my partner couldn't speak Japanese, and they couldn't speak English at all. But it was amazing, because even though we couldn't communicate through like words, we were able to communicate through body language and through gestures and all of this. And it turns out that they might have a different culture, but people from different cultures are so similar to us in like certain things, and it's really an amazing experience. I would say if you can send your kid on the trip, do it, because they're going to come back knowing so much about another culture and learning all of these things, and they're going to be so much more responsible as well, because when you're over there, you don't have anyone like telling you, oh, make sure you have this in your suitcase, make sure you have that, because you have to be the one to take care of your stuff. You need to be the one to make sure not to leave anything behind and take your luggage and everything, and it's amazing, really. It's the best experience I could ever recommend to anybody, and I don't think I'll ever forget it.
Well, my name is Maritza. I'm Geraldine's mom. And we got an invitation in the mail. And my daughter here is looking at it. She goes, Mom, it's a trip to Japan. And I'm like, what? Oh, but I'm not going. I'm not going. So she put the little invitation down. I looked at it. And inside me, I said, she's going. She's going to this, because my daughter, since she's 9 years old, she's been into anime, anything that has to do with Japan, sushi, all this stuff. And I said, but she's Hispanic, she's Puerto Rican, how can she like Japanese stuff? Where did she get this from? It's like, so I had taken her to conventions, anime convention, I don't know if you know about it, cons, New York, I mean, all over Florida, dressed up, and everything. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be the real deal. She's going to go out there. And my husband said, isn't it enough that you just took her to conventions? You got to take her to Japan? I said, yes, there's nothing wrong with it. It was the best decision of my life. Money's hard to get, but you will get it. There's a lot of choices out there. There's a lot of people that could help you. Exactly like they said, you will come up with the money. The most important thing was her safety. And let me tell you, they were great. They were more than great. I learned to love the leaders. My husband learned to love the leaders. We got connected with 30 different parents, because it was 31 kids. And we did the phone tree. We kept connected to Facebook, people to people. When they had the storm out there, reassured us that she was going to be fine, they were going to be fine. And just to see my daughter and those group pictures in Hiroshima and the beach and the Tokyo, they looked so happy. I wish I could share those pictures right now and put it up, and you see their faces and how happy they were. And my daughter came back more confident. And to tell you the truth, dreams do come true. And this is one of the first dreams. I said, this is the first dream that came true. You could do better, college and all that. That's going to be all the dreams. She goes, Mom, that's what's Japan. I said, I know. But trust us. We're not lying to you. We're not making this up. We're not getting paid to advertise people to people. But it is wonderful. And like they said, learning experience, everything, their confidence. They come back and they do things that you don't think they could do on their own, like waking up in the morning on their own and stuff like that. But let me tell you, they're going to learn so much. Just give that gift to your child. You're not going to regret it.
Hi, my name is Donatella. I go to Carrollton, and I've gone on 2 trips. One when I was 12 to France and London, and the second one just this past summer when I was 14 to England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And let me tell you, it's very worth it. Very, very worth it. The first trip we went to, it was a packed trip. It was 44 of us. And it was amazing. We met people from Orlando and California, and we did everything. We met with Parliament. We met with everyone. I mean, we went to the Eiffel Tower. We went to the London Eye. We saw the Big Ben. And then this past trip was Celtic Cultures, and this one, it was a little bit smaller, and it was like all of Florida, so it was Port St. Lucie and Key West. It was so much fun. We did everything. We were so close as a group that we would just wake up and we would already be laughing of how funny it was. It was so much fun. Homestay, we were all so scared. We were like, can we just end this trip now? Can we just go home? I don't want to do this. it was the best part of the trip. And I think they told, I think people to people told them we liked Italian food because we all had Italian food, and the next day we get to the school and they're like, oh, what'd you have for dinner? Oh, Italian. What'd you have for dinner? Italian. Everyone had Italian. So it was like we just reconnected, and we all, one night away, we didn't stop talking the whole entire trip. We learned so much. We went whitewater rafting in Scotland. We were rappelling down a castle in Wales. So much fun. It's a trip you will not regret at all.
They say the two greatest fears in life, public speaking. The second, dying while you're public speaking. So I absolutely love to see the increased confidence that our students gain each and every year. I have awarded all of our students with their graduation pin from People to People. Let's give our students a warm round of applause. And on behalf of People to People, I would like to thank all of our parents for trusting our organization. As they make their way back to their seats, these families would be more than happy to answer any questions you might have after our meeting. I would encourage you to speak with them. We've heard what they've done. Let's take a look and see what you're going to be doing. Just imagine while your friends are sitting down here on Miami Beach this coming summer, you guys are going to be taking selfies while we are traveling through Portugal and Spain.
Hi, I'm Juliana, a 3-time student ambassador alum who has traveled to 9 countries with People to People. I'm here to tell you about the amazing experiences you can have this summer when you journey to Spain and Portugal for 14 days. Today, we're going to focus on the top 7 People to People moments you'll have on your program. Your trip starts out in Lisbon, Portugal, Europe's 2nd oldest capital, and the location for itinerary highlight number 1. For more than 5 centuries, the Portuguese have been making azulejo, or the beautiful intricate tile that adorned both the inside and out of many buildings in Portugal. Introduced to Portugal by the Moors, these tiles derive their name from the Arabic word julige, meaning polished stone. During your time in Lisbon, you'll have the unique opportunity to make a traditional Portuguese tile, using the techniques and skills that have been passed down from generation to generation. The tile master will explain the cultural significance of this art form that is both amazing and functional. Did I mention these tiles help control the temperatures of any Portuguese home? Did you know that Lisbon is called the City of Explorers? It's called that because many of the greatest explorers in history, like Vasco da Gama and Pedro Cabral, used Lisbon as a starting point for their expeditions. In the late 1400s, Portugal entered the golden age of discovery. They set off in search of foreign lands and new trade routes, all in the name of glory. They were the first to sail around the African continent, the first to reach India by sea, and were the first Europeans to visit Japan. The Portuguese explorers were truly pioneers and have been credited with starting globalization. The monument to the discoveries was originally built for the 1940 World Exhibition as a celebration of the great Portuguese explorers. You'll find the statue perfectly positioned at the edge of the Lisbon Marina in Belém, where so many of these expeditions started. And for Christopher Columbus, this was the place he anchored when he was caught in a storm on his way home after discovering the Americas. Let's see how well you know your history. What year did Columbus set out to find the Americas? The answer? 1492. This brings us to itinerary highlight number 2. You'll have the opportunity to learn more about this explorer and our shared history when you visit Huelva, where he prepared for his historic journey. You'll walk the decks, tour the cabins, and get an understanding of what life was like for the crew of the Niña, Pinta, and Santa Maria. Okay, not the real ships, but some really amazing replicas that were built for the 500th anniversary of his expedition. After exploring these tiny ships, you'll have a greater understanding for how amazing this transatlantic journey he undertook was. Trust me, history class has never been this much fun. Ready for itinerary highlight number 3? Well, it's a few highlights slammed into one, connecting with the people of the countries you visit. During your time in Portugal and Spain, you'll have the opportunity to do just that, like learning all about daily life in Seville from local students who will show you the ancient sites like the Alcazar, the oldest royal palace still being used in Europe, and the Plaza de España that was built in 1929 to host the World's Fair. It is these moments that make our programs so different than any ordinary trip. Then you're off to Andalusia for itinerary highlight number 4, your homestay. This is one of the most important experiences of the whole journey. I was super nervous before my homestay. Will they like me? Will they laugh at my jokes? Will I be able to understand them? And what about the food? But it never fails. As soon as I stepped back onto the motor coach, I was missing my new family. That's the power of the homestay. It's an experience that opens up new cultures and literally changes your perspective on the world. Regardless of what your experience looks like, I'm pretty sure your world will never be the same. Your homestay is actually an exclusive farm stay available only to student ambassadors and is made possible thanks to People to People's more than 50 years of making connections around the world. From modern day life on the farm, you'll step back in time during itinerary highlight number 5 at the Grand Bazaar of Granada. Originally built in the 15th century, this massive market was home to more than 200 small shops selling silk, spices, and other treasures. The bazaar was one of the few Moorish traditions to survive Christian conquest and was a staple of Granada's culture. I don't know about you, but shopping can make me a little hungry. And fortunately, one of the best ways to connect with a culture is through its cuisine. In itinerary highlight number 6, in Spain, you'll have a chance to sample some of its most iconic cuisine through 2 unique opportunities. The first is during your time in Granada. Some say it was the Spanish king who came up with these small plates of delicious food. Others say it was the day laborers who started work early in the morning and created these snacks to keep them going throughout the day. No matter who invented tapas, it's a delicious part of Spain's culture, especially in Granada. You'll have the chance to sample these delicious dishes during a culinary adventure where you purchase your own tapas using money provided by your delegation manager. This is a great opportunity to experience local culture and maybe even try out some Spanish if you're learning. The second opportunity will come when you are in Barcelona. Thought to be the perfect blend of 2 historic Spanish cultures, paella has become the national dish of Spain. You'll have the chance to learn how to make this yummy dish from a local chef. Traditionally cooked over an open fire, he'll teach you all about the unique ingredients that make this historical meal so good and the special pan that is used to cook it. And the best part, you get to eat the culinary creation. The art of Spain isn't just culinary. Itinerary highlight number 7 will bring life to the works of Antoni Gaudí, thought to be one of the most impactful architects of all time. And you can find his whimsical works all over Barcelona. And you'll get to visit 2 of his most famous creations. Standing in the center of Barcelona, La Sagrada Familia Cathedral has become a universal symbol for this amazing city. With construction starting in 1882 and still not complete, this amazing cathedral has been built solely from donations. Gaudí said, "The Church of La Sagrada Familia is made by the people and is mirrored in them. It is a work that is in the hands of God and the will of the people." From the soaring spires of La Sagrada, you'll head to another of Gaudí's masterpieces, the straight out of a fairy tale complex called Park Güell. With brightly colored tile work, winding walls, and even a dragon, Park Güell is unlike anything you've seen and captures the energy of Barcelona's artistic side. So let's recap the top itinerary highlights from your program. 1. Learn about azulejo tile in Portugal. 2. Explore the decks of the Niña, Pinta, and Santa Maria. 3. Connect with locals in Seville. 4. Your Andalusian homestay. 5. Shop and explore the Grand Bazaar of Granada. 6. Sample Spanish cuisine like tapas and paella. And 7. See the works of Antoni Gaudí in Barcelona. Believe me, a student ambassador program is much more than just a trip, and you'll do so much more than what we just covered, like giving back during a service project, getting in some relaxation time at one of the top 10 beaches in Europe, exploring the 9th century Arabic palace called the Alhambra, checking out the Rock in Gibraltar, kayaking the Guadalquivir River, bowling with locals in Lisbon. Oof! You get the idea. Your focus program from Barcelona to Lisbon will be packed full of awesome moments and experiences. I love to travel. It's given me a better appreciation for people, cultures, and different ways of life. As a student ambassador, you'll have access to amazing places, local people, and life-changing activities. So take that first step. Open your mind and get ready for the world.
Students, that is your program. I think we have thought of everything. How do we get from Miami? over to Europe. If you'll please look at your boarding pass, that being your blue application booklet, and I want to make sure that you have a pen. You're going to want to take some notes. I'm going to cover a lot of very important details pretty quickly. If your family does not have something to write with, please raise your hand. Leave your hand up in the air like that, and our teacher leaders will provide you a pen. Again, I need to make sure that you're going to take some notes. Megan, can we make sure that Michelle Bolt is in here? Great. All right, when you open up your boarding pass, let's go ahead and turn to the most important page in the entire book. This is page 1. Page 1, as you will see, this does outline for you the very simple steps that you will need to take to become a student ambassador. Step number 1 is to simply apply to the program. You can either do that online, or you are welcome to call our program office if you would like to speak with a live person. Also, if you would rather speak in Espanol, we do have representatives, hablas español, at the national office. You can call us telefono. See? So the very first step is to simply apply to the program. As you will see, there is a small deposit that needs to be with the application to process it. This is not an additional fee of any kind. Instead, think of this as your first tuition payment. Then parents, we will simply make monthly payments over the next 9 months. And your final payment isn't due until next year, next May. Okay, so that provides you plenty of time. Now, after you apply, the second step is to get your letters of recommendation filled out. 2 of these need to be filled out by your teachers. I would highly encourage you to make sure that these are 2 teachers who actually like you. Okay, and the third letter, as you will see, needs to be filled out by an adult in the community that knows you well. All of these letters of recommendation are in your application booklet. Let's go ahead and talk about your departure date. Your departure date will be in mid-June after school session is finalized. Once we form our delegation, then we will be working at finalizing a departure date. But do know that it will be in mid-June after school session is finalized. So again, first step is to apply, second step are the letters of recommendation, and then finally your third step is to come to your interview. And Michelle, when are those interview dates?
It's on the back of the bios, but I'll also, I think a few of you might not have the bios. It's Sunday, September 21st from 9 to 11 a.m. It's going to be at Starbucks Cafe, which is at the Barnes & Noble on Kendall Drive. We have another interview date on Wednesday, September 24th at the West Kendall Regional Library, and that'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. And then we have a third meeting date on October 1st. It's a Wednesday also at West Kendall Regional Library from 6 to 8 p.m.
Thank you, Michelle. So as you heard, we have 3 different interview dates. You only need to attend one of those interviews. Michelle has been courteous enough that she has 3 interview dates because she knows that many of our families are very busy, so that you've got some additional options. But again, you only need to come to one of those dates. Let's go ahead and turn to page 6, please. Page 6. As you will see on page 6, this does outline all of the programs that we are offering for this coming summer. As you heard, we are offering some of these additional programs out of the South Florida area. Not all of these programs are out of South Florida, but we do have the Fiji program that you will see. We do have the Mediterranean Traditions program. We are also offering a program to China. If you would like additional information about one of those other programs instead of traveling to Portugal and Spain, please talk to our teacher leaders on the way out, and they'll be happy to assist you with that information. For the respective time, I'd like to focus on this local delegation. So if you'll please look under the Europe itineraries and find the name of your program. The name of your program is Focus Barcelona to Lisbon. Please find that program name and draw a circle around it. That is very important information. We need to ensure that you're in the right group. So again, the name of your program is Focus Barcelona to Lisbon. As you will see, that is a 14-day program, 2 weeks. And the tuition is to the far right of $43.99. We're going to talk more about that tuition in just a moment, but again, please indicate that this is the name of your program. Now, looking at the bottom of the page on the lower left-hand corner, this is your departure airport. This is also the airport that we are going to be coming back to. Great news. Go ahead and write in Miami. We're not going to have you drive to Orlando or anything like that. We're going to keep it local for you. Moving across the page, now at the bottom center, the international airline surcharge. Parents, anytime that we book an international airline ticket, we will see on there in fine print, fuel surcharges, airline taxes. That's exactly what this is. Obviously, it varies quite a bit depending on your destination. So for flying over to Portugal, this amount will be $496. $496. Please write that in next to your international airline surcharge. Moving across the page in the lower right-hand corner, this is the travel protection plan. This is entirely optional. It's not required. It's your typical traveler's insurance. You'll receive much more information about this over the next few months. It's not required when you apply to the program, so I'm not going to spend a great deal of time on it. So it is your international airline surcharge in addition to your tuition that makes up your entire tuition. Looking at the next page, in this gray box that I've created here, it allows you to see at a very quick glance what is included in the tuition. I can tell you that many of our alumni families continue to thank our organization for making our tuition all inclusive, all comprehensive. Parents, that means you're not getting a phone call from Europe 1 week into the program from your student saying, I'm having the time of my life. I've bought every souvenir that I could put my hands on. Bad news is I'm entirely out of money, and Dad, you need to overnight me some money to Europe. Okay, instead, starting at the top of the gray box, you will see that all of our pre-travel preparation, we're going to meet once a month. All that's included. All of our travel and our transportation. That's all of our flights from Miami over to Lisbon, then all of our transportation through Lisbon, down through Spain, and all the way back home. We're going to have our own private motor coach. It also includes all of your meals. Students, do you see where it says meals there? Go ahead and write in the number 3. 3 full meals a day are provided. All of your access to all of the activities. All of your access into the cathedral, for example. All of that is included. Students, if you wanted to travel for 2 weeks all the way over to Europe without a dime in your pocket, you literally can. Again, parents, this gives you the peace of mind to know that on the day of departure, everything's been taken care of. Okay? So everything is included. Also included is medical insurance. And also, how many students here are currently in IB or AP by a show of hands? Fantastic. A lot of college-bound students. Hands down. How many students here after high school are planning on getting a job or going to college by show of hands? Parents, I want you to look at your student right now. If their hands are not in the air, it's time to start building a basement. Okay? But let me talk about the academics. For those of you that are really doing a lot of effort to make great grades and to have some of your advanced classes, you really want to consider having international travel experience with people-to-people on your college application. We will be providing you with an academic transcript upon your return home. This will have your academic credit, which information about that is on page 8. This will also have your 10 hours of community service that you will be earning while we are in program. This is going to be a large, significant difference maker for you when you're applying to college. When students are applying to college, they've all got great grades. Many of them are going to have IB and AP. Many of them are going to have foreign language. Many of them are going to have community service. You're just another application, guys. Last year in the United States, out of all of the applications turned in for our colleges in the U.S., 30% of those were turned in from Chinese students. Do you think they have great grades? I think so. They usually speak about 4 languages. They've got a real world, already a real world hands-on knowledge. They've traveled the world. Right now, 80% of our students in this program are getting into the colleges of their very first choice. Very first choice. There's a student from Palm Beach who I spoke with last week. He traveled with people to China. Harvard just paid for his round-trip airplane ticket to come interview at their campus this fall because he had traveled with people to people. So for those of you that are college-bound, this is definitely going to help you out. Let's go ahead now and turn to the very back inside cover page, please. Very back inside cover page. You'll see that photograph and you'll see the Make It Happen. Right underneath that in bold, you will see this web address, p2ppayyourway.com. Students, very quickly, please draw a circle around that web address. For students who would like to fund and raise some of the tuition for the program, which I always think is a great idea, this website is excellent. We've reached out to our students year after year who have been very successful in their funding, and we've asked them exactly what they have done, how they got started, how they organized it. Last year, this is how over half of our families in the state of Florida were able to travel in the program. Okay? Take a look at this information. Again, if you are interested in fundraising some of the tuition for the program, I will be available for any questions you have. All of you should have received a white sticker on the front of your blue application booklet. If you know that you are going to apply to the program, as a courtesy to you, I'm going to allow you to reserve your interview date and time before you leave today on the interview posters that we have outside so that you can plan ahead accordingly. As a courtesy to you, I want to let you know that we only have 30 spots because we're not going to take city transportation all around Europe. It's not even reliable, guys. We're going to have a very nice private motor coach, but these only hold so many people. 30 students, 3 teacher leaders, the in-country expert who lives in Europe, and the motor coach driver. That's it. So if you know that you want to travel in the local Miami delegation on this itinerary, you're going to want to get hopping on your application right away. These programs are in high demand. They fill up very quickly. So it will be the first 30 students who apply and who are selected through an interview who will secure one of those 30 spots. Now, you are welcome to apply to this program anytime throughout the year prior to departure. But keep in mind, if you apply at a later point in time, I can still travel you to Portugal and Spain, but it will definitely be with a different city. Actually, it will be with an entirely different state. So it might be Atlanta, or it might be Dallas, or it might be a Phoenix delegation. So students, that means that you're not going to meet any of those students prior to departure. Parents, that means you're not going to be able to meet any of those teachers traveling with your children while they're overseas. I find everybody wants to be in the local delegation. Everybody gets to know each other. All of your pre-travel meetings are right here in Miami. So if you know you want to be in this local delegation, my best advice to you based on experience, get your application in within the next 72 hours. God bless. Have a wonderful afternoon. Let's give one last round of applause to our alumni students. Thank you so much.